Hello, hi. Today is the July 29 and 2021. Today's weather is much better than the previous, episode. And then today's episode is episode 7 about the police department. And then before I started, I like to talk about the episode 6. Last time is about $20. Unfortunately, I talked too much and I got so heated up and I talked too much and the video ended up to, 50 minutes. It's much longer than I thought. And then, most of United States citizens, they have attention deficit, ADHD things, because all the national TV, they're putting on the commercial every 10 to 15 minutes. So they don't have really much time to give the attention longer time. That's why, most of YouTube, is very short one, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But mine is more dedicated with bring the education to the people, what really happened to the policemen. So, I thought maybe I'm going to divide to the, part 1, part 2, part 3, but I decided to keep it as a, 50-minute whole one thing. So it's a little bit, you need patience to watch the episode 6. But that's it. That is it. So I'm going to move on to episode 7. So I try to talk a little faster and then not to talk too much unnecessary stuff, because we don't have much time and then we have a lot of things to say. All right, so now, what is the police department? That's the one I like to say today. Okay, I brought extra, board. I made up this board. So this is what is the police department? You can learn so many ways, but this is my, kind of definition about what is the police department. Police department is like, this is the good people. And this is bad criminal. What is the police department? Police department is here. Police department. Police department is buffer zone between the good people and bad criminal. And that they are the one who bring the, order is keeping in the order. They bring the order. Before the law, they have to keep the order to sort it out. That's the police department. The good people, bad criminal, they try, the police department is like buffer zone. So let me write down buffer. Buffer zone. I don't know that's the right spelling. Anyway, they're the buffer zone between the good people and bad criminal. So it's very interesting thing is happening in this, diagram, because sometimes the good people is bad, and sometimes bad criminal is not that much bad people. But no matter what is the police department is bring the order. And then when you look at the police department, there is the people here. This is the police officers who has the borderline with the criminal, right? So something happened between the police and then the criminal. Usually, these good people defend the criminal. know why? Because these good people, they never seen it, this area. They never seen it, that kind of sin. They are so good people, they never seen anything like what they are showing in the TV. They don't know what is the real thing in this area. And then who's working in this area? This area is the first response frontier. Not even the detective. They're just the first response. And then they are just, have to see all those short, druggy people, alcoholic people, petty theft, so many things going on in this area. And then the police officer, the frontier, first response, they are the one in this area. It's very important, this area. And even police department, there's the different kind of, line of work. Here, upper part, let me just erase this buffer zone things. All right, everybody knows this is buffer zone. Anyway, this part of the police department, they're the desk jockey. They call the desk jockey. I mean, it's administrator. That's upper part is administration. And then most of them, sometimes they're using it from the frontier, first response police officer, they get promoted and to become the administration things. But most of administration, the police department, they don't know about the working in here. They don't, actually. So they always don't understand each other, from the administration and field police officer, first response. Let me tell you about this part, the administration. I'm the nurse, the field RN, and I'm the first response. I'm the step RN, field RN, 30 years. I've never been in the administration, part. From my point of view, administration, there's a lot of those management people getting there a lot. And also, whoever is not good with the field, usually they move on with the, head nurse, supervisor, whatever charge nurse, they're doing the paperwork things. But when you're doing in the, facing the patient, like the field RN, step RN, the situation's so much different. But they always, the administration, they try to rule the, field RN, They don't know really what's going on in field RN. Most of the time, they just doing new thing. Most of the time, they want their work more comfortable. But they always said, this is the way you feel more comfortable. If you do this way, your work is much better, right? My work, 30 years, same. 30 years, nothing. The difference is they adding on more paperwork, more regulation, something unnecessary. But they said, it will become more safe. It will become more, there's some college genius, Ivy League, doctors did some research and then it's showing, this is the way you should do. Oh my God, this administration part is, I cannot stand it. Sometimes I really cannot stand it, But when you look at this police department, same thing happened. There's the first response and frontier, who's always every day facing to the bad criminal. And those administration part, they are more like close to these good people. These good people, even, administration, maybe they still in the police department, so they understand what's going on a little bit. These good people, they don't know what's going on in anything. Because their life is never face the police and never face the criminal. And this is always like, they doing the meditation, doing yoga, and then some high spiritual finding soul. Those kind of people doesn't understand this criminal part. That's why something happening here and they showing in the national TV, the good people looking at, this criminal looks like poor things. That's how it happened. Total disconnected in this society. These good people never seen the, what's going on bottom here. So for their point of view, everything is police brutality. This part, I have to tell you one more thing with my son. My son doesn't want to put him in the YouTube, but one more thing is later, they released body cam, police body cam about the George Floyd. And that's another time my son came out to me and then he told me, Mom, they released the body cam. You can see everything step by step. Everything is in the video. You gotta see it because my son still doesn't think, the policeman did the right thing. I told him, but I don't know, some reason he's into more like George Floyd things. So, okay, so finally those body cam came. All right, let's sit together. So we sit down the couch together, him and me, sitting down together, and then we shooting the cast in the YouTube about those whole 9-minute body cam. After we watch it, him and me, totally different response. I was watching it, and then after I finished the watch, I think, where's there's a police brutality? And my son, his eye got red, and he's almost, so into it. So I was so shocked. So I told him, what's going on? What happened? And he said, why the policeman has to show the gun, why the policeman has to put him on the car, why... He and me is totally different response. He's 17 years old, I'm over 50. So that's how it happened. My son never seen the scene like that. I never thought that kind of scene in all his life, 17 years, right? So that's how it happened. The good people, for their point of view, everything is police brutality because they never seen it. They never seen it. That's how it happened. This, the policeman got the guilty thing because this has happened. Or the good people, they're so boring because they have everything. They have everything. They have a car. They don't have to worry anything. Their life is so boring. And something happened, they just jump in. And then for their point of view, this criminal is the poor thing. Because this criminal died, and this is the criminal, they on the ground, usually, most of the time, they are the one who will be in the ground. For their point of view, for the good people, the bad criminal is the good people, for their point of view. So how this is to happen. So I was so mad. All the national TV in the beginning, they put the policeman's working record on the national news, right? They put the working record, he worked 10 years. The other one, Asian policeman, the yellow policeman, he has also 6-7 years of work. And then he has also complaint. And then he has to write some incident report things. And then this policeman has 16 of them, but he worked 10 years. Let me tell you, I was so upset when I look at that one. Let me tell you about this. The nurse, the field RN, we also getting the incident report. The field RN, we also getting complaint. The field RN, we also getting the, we have a mistake too. We do. I work so many places, so many units, not compared to the, in the United States. If you work emergency room, the ER nurse, you have high chance to getting incident report. You have a high chance to getting the mistake. You have a high chance to getting complaint, right? But if you work the nursery, who's going to complain to you, right? We're going to complain. The baby, we're going to complain. And most of the time, if you work the nursery, you don't have any chance to make a mistake either. Who's going to complain? Some parents, they just got the baby. Who's going to be mad to the nurse, right? So it depends on the department, which section you're working, and then make the more incident report and less incident report. And also I worked from the Westchester to the Brooklyn, Bronx, everywhere, right? In the hospital. Some hospitals, for God's sake, you have to jeopardize your license. Depends on the area, depends on the hospital. You're going to have more chance to get, your license jeopardized because the people complain. Those people, sometimes they just complain, they just fell down from the ground, and then just pretend that I did something, nurse did something. Listen, think about it. If you work the better area, you don't have a chance to, get any report and the instant report or the complaint. If you worked in Long Island, some Rosslyn Heights, very fancy area, very rich people living, or the Westbury, or if you worked in the Westchester, Scottsdale, Hartsdale, as a policeman, who's going to report the policeman? Who's going to complain to the policeman? In that area, nobody. But if you worked South Bronx, if you worked some bad area in Brooklyn, you're going to get the complaint all the time. All the time. Maybe someone will going to talking. I cannot hear in here, but maybe somebody will gonna tell me into the screen, some area who's working bad area, sometimes, those policemen never get any complaint or never have to write the incident report. Yeah, right, you can do it that way. But if the area is everybody getting the incident report, and everybody getting the complaint because the area is so bad and someone doesn't get any, you have to look for him. Look closely. That person is the person who's not working. That person may be ducked down somewhere, under the shade, and then not working. That's why he's not getting any, instant report and complaint. If everybody getting it over the years, there's average, there's average they're getting the complaint. The nurse is the same. If you work the ER and then very quiet and suddenly all those crazy people bash in and then there's a lot of patient, some case you can see like premonition. Oh, that case, if you take care of that case, you're going to get the complaint. Those people looks like we're going to complain. And then that case, sometimes some smart and nurse, they go to the bathroom. They go to the bathroom and doesn't come back 30 minutes until I get the case. I have to go through the case. No, I cannot wait 30 minutes because I have to take the case. That's all the time. Nowadays, I think they assign because the case, they assign the nurse in the, the sequence of the, whatever. I think they're doing better way now. But my point is, if you work the very, bad area, you're gonna get the complaint. So why you have to put this policeman's work record in the national TV? Just show him working really good? Or you just want to show him like bad policeman? And another thing is, I was watching the investigation Discovery a lot, those cases. And sometimes they're talking about the career criminal. Have you ever heard the career criminal? When I heard this the first time, when I looking in the investigation Discovery Channel, one of the episodes, the one person said, oh, this person was a career criminal. I was like, what is the career criminal? And I later find out, these people, usually go to the jail in and out in their life. That's they call the career criminal. So if you want to show this policeman's, whole working record, 10 years of the working hard, this record to showing the, looks like bad. How about the George Floyd? Why you don't show the George Floyd life? What is his life? Look at it. Go to the internet and look at it. And whatever the George Floyd life, they shush. And then they make a big things for this policeman's, working record. Do you know what? This policeman working hard. He's the worker who's working. And then he became the senior. He was a good senior. He was good teaching either. And then George Floyd didn't die because of him. And then why you have to crucify? So this is the one I'm showing it. You can show the diagram one more time. And then I have to tell you something. So what does the police department do? They do so many things. I was so surprised, Sometimes they lost the cat, they call the police department. Sometimes they lost, the dog, they call the police department. Everything, the fire department, police department, they are the one who's make our society safe. Military is totally different thing. Military is they have a totally different society and community. They do their own way, everything on their way. So our citizenship in social, except the military, we need the police department and the fire department too. But I think police department more, important nowadays. Because nowadays, all the, how they building the building and then, everything is much safe than making the fire, most of area. But still have a fire. But fire department is important, but police department is really important. So now what? There was the person who said, defund police. I was like, what? What's going on? Defund police? I want to tell that person, listen to me. Whoever said defund police, I want to suggest something. You have to find your own security people for your home, all right? And then hire the bodyguard when you're walking around outside. Get your own bodyguard to protect you when you go out there. And then if you have accident, don't even bother call the 911. And don't even bother police department. Policemen are gonna show up for you. Get your own security. Defund police? Oh my holy God. That's so wrong, and these people is all driven by what you're gonna do with our police department. Police department is more important than the law system. Those lawyers and prosecutor and judges. This looks like much bigger in the old time, but nowadays everybody knows the law a lot. What we need is the order. Life cycle order has to be protected. I was so upset about the Coach store got breakdown and they steal the Coach bag. And then, all those stores, they broke down, and then those riots. I want the police department investigated. End of the world, chasing them end of the world, and then bring them to the jail, lock them up. 21st century, you cannot break the personal belongings. The Coach store and Prada and Louis Vuitton, whatever the small store, big store, is personal belongings. Do you know how much rent they are paying? I think those Coach store and then some buildings, I think they pay $100,000, a month, something like that. That kind of store in Manhattan or some fancy area. And then police department, they stand down. They let the riot goes in and steal the good. They didn't do anything. That's on the Republican, because that's on the Trump administration. I don't think Trump want to make it stand down, but some of the Republicans, they are concerning about, we have to worry about this black people's vote too. So just to stand down. Let them break the building, rob the goods. It's not a big deal. It's a couple of Coach bag, a couple of Coach store, whatever, the Prada or, Louis Vuitton, whatever. They don't care. They make the police department is like fool. 21st century, police department cannot protect the people who's living every day. We have a life cycle. We have an order of the life cycle. I'm not that much prepared about I didn't do that much research about the, I'm gonna tell you about next black and white or media part, but I'm gonna tell you, maybe some people were gonna talking about, how about the Capitol invasion? Capitol invasion thing. I'm gonna make it very short about those Capitol invasion. It's totally different with this riot people is break down the store and stealing the good. Even I was thinking, I'm thinking even now, why these riot people didn't go to the Capitol. Why they have to steal the goods for the personal people's, break the personal people's, building, and then stealing the personal people's, property. I think they're so stupid riot. If you want to go to the riot, you have to go to the Capitol. If you don't like something, you have to break down the Capitol. Let me tell you why. Because Capitol is entitled to invade it and then broke down. A lot of, the media, they all bring up those things. Oh, you know what, 200 years, it never happened. 200 years is holy place, whatever. I don't buy it. Do you know why? My country is 4,534 years. 4,534 years, my country. This country is only 200 years. It's a baby. Do you know how many times my country kingdom burned down and then killed the king because they didn't rule the world right? That's what we call the revolution. Revolution. In the French, I have to research more about the Google, but I should have prepared that one anyway. There's one French, queen. She got the head chopped down. That time the king building up the castle. The palace is so fancy, and then those bottom feeder taxpayer, those people cannot eat the food, and then one time those people came to this queen, and then he said, oh, those people cannot eat the bread because the economy is so bad, a lot of people cannot eat the bread. Do you know what the queen said? Queen said, oh, they don't have bread? Why don't they eating the cake? That's what she said. So disconnected. So disconnected from the bottom to the top. If there is no communication from the bottom to the top, that's a rotten, king. And then what the rotten king we're going to get? His kingdom we're going to burn down. And then the king has to be dying. That's a revolution. In French, they call the revolution. I think this time when they invaded, the capital, that's the time police should stand down. They shouldn't block them because it's a revolution. So they make the country suffering. So actually, this story I'm supposed to tell you in the black and white, yellow, episode 9. I'm gonna maybe refine the story episode 9. But now let's go back to this diagram. I wrote it. Is that clear? Can you see this one clear in the screen? Okay, so let me tell you one more time. So just digesting, it's time going. Let me see, I did cover everything. Okay, and then whoever did the defund police, get your own security. That's what I want to say. And then these good people, this is the time you have to think twice. After you watched my video, think twice and third times. Make sure what's going on here. The police department is very important. They're covering everybody. They're the blue. They call police department people is the blue people. Let me call these people blue people. I like the Blue Blood, the TV show. I'm not watching it anymore, but, they are the blue people, blue uniform. They have all the color of the people. They have black, white, yellow, red, whatever the colors people is working together under the same color of the blue. So police department for the future is kicking out all those confusion between the different colored people. I'm not going to tell about the racist thing because the term of the word in the racist not fit in 21st century. So I'm going to use the color thing. So police department, the blue people, we're going to have all sort of the different color. Even this police incidents, there was the 4 police officer. And only 1 police officer was the white, and all 3 is the black and then yellow. So I don't see anything from this George Floyd case. I don't see anything about this color thing. I don't know why they're driven by this one is a black and white. Even the beginning, the first the beginning pilot of my video before the first episode. There's the one more video in 7-minute one. Then one is I was talking about, even I put the title is the police versus criminal. It's nothing to do with the black and white, this incident. Nothing. It's a totally police versus criminal. So now, before I end up, I like to say one more thing. Okay, so everybody saying, oh, police brutality. I don't see any police brutality. Let me tell you what's going on in these police things. As the time goes, all the time, when they caught the criminal, they usually, they put the, rope or the cup in the front, this way. And then time goes by, some incidents, keep happening with this way. So now they're putting the cup in the back way, right? Okay, but that's not enough. These criminals, sometimes with the cup in the back, they still do something bad, right? So now they have to put them down onto the ground. That's a kind of protocol for all the policemen. Do you know why? The criminals, bad criminals, they're getting advanced. Nowadays, it's not the same criminal like 50 years ago. And all those crime is beyond your thinking, beyond your normal thinking. And then this bad criminal also has a lot of, druggy people. Once I did, an internship in the psychiatric unit. If you are insane, if you are on the drug, their capability is beyond your imagine. So, what the police department has to do, they have to getting along with what the criminal is doing. They have to advance getting along with what the bad criminal is getting much worse. Police department has to getting worse too. So the bad criminal, they're using the gun and knife and drugs and everything. What the police department? They used to just walking around the whole time. Now they have to carry on so many things. Some of the policemen, everybody is different, but some of the policemen is so afraid about those radical, thing happen. They have to carry on the vest, the bulletproof vest, and or the electric gun and body cam. They're walking around like really heavy things, not only the uniform. They have to carry on so many things. So my point is, we cannot judge the police department. Even if it was the mistake. Even if it was the mistake, you have to count as the mistake. But they gave this policeman is all intentional murderer. So many things wrong. So many things wrong. I cannot continue more than that. But even now, these criminals, they're getting so advanced. For example, after the Eric Garner, he was the one who started the I Cannot Breathe, right? Do you know what happened after that? There's two kinds that happened. Good people like me, I told my son, hey, Sonny, in case if you have faced the police, situation, that kind of situation, you have to show the hand and then just to follow the policeman's instruction. Whatever he said, just follow it. That's what I told him, my son. Do you know what the criminals they are saying? They're teaching, okay, in case if you face the policeman, you have to start talking, I cannot breathe first. That's what they are teaching now. If you start, I cannot breathe, there is the possibility, maybe after you die, maybe I'm going to get the $5 million. I can settle the money. So, first word, or the criminal, after the Eric Garner, everybody is talking, I cannot breathe. Unfortunately, the George Floyd case, it was we start putting the mask on it and everybody's not happy with the mask on it because once you put the mask on it, you cannot breathe well. And then everybody wasn't happy at that time. And then George Floyd thing happened. That's why it's flaring up more. Like the, tiny spark and get the really good wind. That kind of situation. But the criminal they are smart, And the Eric Garner, he's very unlucky, but his mother is very lucky because he said, I cannot breathe. So I'm totally want to stand by the police department. Even though the police department, they're never going to stand by me. If something happened to me, I don't think they're going to do it. But I'm still stand by the police department. And then I have one more true story. It was 25 years ago. My father and my mother came to help me to finish the, some co-op I bought in the Yonkers. And then I was young. I was like 26, maybe 25. When you're young, you have a lot of, enraged with the simple things. But after we had a breakfast in diner in the Bayside, Francis Louis Boulevard and then Northern Boulevard, there is their diner. It's very, very good, tastes very good, and they're still doing the business. I'm so proud of them. Anyway, so after the, breakfast, I came out, from the diner, and I saw the police car in the behind. And I got, he's pulling me to the side, so I noticed I didn't do my seatbelt. So I told my parents, do the seatbelt, and I did my seatbelt too. It was so simple. To my point of view, it's not a big deal. I just did. But this policeman came and then he gave me the ticket. I explained to him, oh, we just got out from the parking lot. It's not that much far. It's less than a block. So I did a, seatbelt. So I just explained to him, and then, hopefully he just let me go without the ticket. But he gave me the ticket. Anyway, I was so stressed out with this co-op, the renovation, and then my parents has to come to help me, and then it was kind of my own anger was in it. And then I got the ticket, so I was so mad. Suddenly, my anger is enraged, and then I called him SOB. Really loud, and then my mother and my father came out from the car, and they holding one arm each, and they said, hey. And I didn't stop, and then this policeman was really pissed off by me, and then he came at me and he said, I can arrest you, he said. But I didn't stop, but my mother and father pulling me off, and then I think that's the moment the policeman think, it's a little, the young woman doesn't know what she's talking about, and he just gave me the ticket and left. It's all my fault, but a lot of people, it's their fault, and they still hate the policeman, right, who giving the ticket. Most of the time, it's their fault, and then they shouldn't do that, right? But still, they hate the police department and policemen. I sent the ticket with a not guilty. I'm so ashamed about that part. Anyway, I was young, around 25 years old, the first immigrant, a lot of stress. So I sent not guilty, and then I'm going to tell them something on the court. So 2 or 3 months later, I went to the court. I was waiting on the court, and I'm watching other people doing the those ticket thing with the lawyers, whatever. But I was looking around. Sometimes if the policeman didn't show up, I don't even have to argue. The ticket is dropped if the policeman didn't show up. So hopefully, I was inside my mind, I hope he didn't show up. So I was looking around the room and then looking for him. Where is he? Where is he? I couldn't find him. So I thought, oh, maybe he didn't come. And then it was my turn. So the judge called, me for my ticket. So I come up to the judge, and then policeman was there. I couldn't recognize him because he didn't wear the uniform. He doesn't have anything. He just casual, the clothing on it. He's not even big guy. He was the small guy. And then he was so young. He was so young. He looks like, to me, he looks like teenage. But he came. I was so ashamed. Oh my God. I still have a, little hot flush whenever I'm thinking about that. I was so, I don't know. I cannot find the right word. But I was so ashamed. So I couldn't even say anything. I just get the ticket. I pay the fine right there. But I noticed, these policemen, when they are not in the uniform, they're the same people like us. They're the same people like us. So I have to fire someone today. Do you know who? Police commissioner in Minneapolis. I want to fire him. Actually, I'm firing you, the police commissioner. You're the one who's supposed to bring the right thing to the people. You backed up. you back off. You back off from the, you have to show the people, these good people. You have to persuade these good people, these policemen didn't do anything wrong. You have to show them to the body cam right away, and then show all the principle and protocol. You know it. You know the policeman is innocent, and that you didn't do not that much things. You just lay back and then just watching they hang the innocent policeman to the cross. So I'm firing you today. Get off your job. You messed up the whole United States because you didn't step in right away and make sure that's not his fault. You didn't bring the people, this policeman is innocent. Other people, I understand. They don't know what's going on anyway. They just saw those, the still shot of the picture, and then it doesn't feel good. So those people, I don't blame them. I made all 10 episodes. It's not the simple word like, oh, innocent, the policeman innocent. You cannot persuade them like that because it's a long story. It's not the short story. But police commissioner, you know it. You know 100% this policeman is innocent and you didn't do it, your job. You have to be out. One more person I want to fire. Minneapolis governor. Oh, he has to step down right away. You have to step down right away. You're the governor, and then you don't know anything about these things. You're just getting along with the politics. You don't care about this bottom-feeder taxpayer, disposable, replaceable police officer. You don't care. But you're the one supposed to care, bottom-feeder taxpayer. That's why you're in the governor. If you don't care about the bottom-feeder taxpayer, you just crush down him based on your political, some agenda, and then you want to save your face in front of your media camera, you have to step down. You're so ashamed. Not only now, this one will be in history, like the O.J. Simpson case. I want to ask those people, O.J. Simpson's case 30 years ago, who opened the champagne and celebrate about the O.J. Simpson's not guilty, where they are. Even though O.J. Simpson died, the O.J. Simpson case will be here thousands of years. Not only 100 years, not only 200 years, thousands of years. My country is 4,534 years of the history. Our country is not that much doing good because we had the Korean War, and then not only the war, we didn't get the modernized period, didn't get it right because of the 600 of the Joseon dynasty. But anyway, that's too much complicated. All right, so I'm firing the police commissioner in the Minneapolis, and I'm firing the, Minneapolis, Minnesota, whatever, the governor, okay? All right, so today is, I did the police department. I think it didn't come out that much well, but everything is as is. And then I watched the, episode 6, $20 one. When it got a little, heated up, my English didn't come out really good. So I did my best, okay? So hopefully it can help to the police department, and then they make the people understand what is the police department. They make the people who understand the, policeman who's walking around the street, how hard that work it is. It looks like easy, but it's very hard. And then they are entitled to doing their job. So don't get shame like me, like old time 25 years ago, And also, I don't know that policeman remember me, but I have totally different face, but maybe he remember the incidents, what I said. I want to really apologize to you officially. I really never get a chance to, see you again because I'm too good citizen. I never, face the policeman except, the ticket things. But I don't know, you are still on the police department and this line of the job, you're still doing it. I'm talking about 25 years ago. But I'm apologizing you. I'm very sorry I call you SOB. But you're a good policeman. I think I'm really, respecting the policeman from this point. And then I really want to save that policeman in Minneapolis. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching.